up, Doe? It's Jon Agnew from Bikedope. Listen, my travels this time led me to California, right? Figueroa Avenue to be exact. Where I had the pleasure of sitting down with David Sabastian. And for those who don't know who David Sabastian is, he's an artist in every sense of the word. He has a very, very in-depth way of, I guess his perspective is what intrigued me the most about him. But there's a couple cool things that I've seen on Instagram that I think that the world would if they were to hear it, they would think the same way I would. So my job is to bridge the gap between people who don't know and just people, just people being themselves and being concrete and absolutely who they are. David Sabastian speaks to that, man. So even how the room was set up when we sat down and had a conversation was something to be said about that. You know what I'm saying? So it was awesome. It was awesome stuff, man. David Sabastian, I appreciate you, man. Okay, hold on. David Sabastian, I appreciate you, Super Kev, the whole team. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys even taking a shot on me, man. So I hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, comment, share. But again, listen. That's the most important thing we do. Just listen. Make sure we listen, because this content is free and this is real game. You know what I'm saying? Real game. So holla at y'all boys. Let me know what you think. Easy. Straight?
Yeah.
Bikedope Conversations, man. On location again, where I, Jon Agnew, the creator of the brand Bikedope, go around the country and find illest people on the planet, like I always like to say, man, and recreate the energy and hop into the universe and just see what it's all about, man. And I found this young man here on social media, Instagram, I believe it was, just perusing through the sites and stuff like that, and I seen some kind of graffiti or something like that. And I went in to start doing a little bit more research, and I started checking things out. And I'm like, damn, this dude might be kind of dope, and which he was. So,
thank you.
David Sabastian.
Thank you.
The man, the myth, the legend. He's a little under the weather, but that's all right. Where we at, man?
Yeah, my crib.
I'm at this dude's house, right? And this is his actual lighting in his crib. And he's got all kinds of awesomeness and beautifulness floating around here. He has paintings in the kitchen, right? And underneath the island and stuff like that. In your crib, where though?
Downtown, Los Angeles.
We're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Me, I'm from Detroit, man. So it's just crazy. Like a lot of times I think back in the people that I meet and how I've got to this point. It's amazing to me, man. Are you born and raised here?
Yeah, I'm born and raised. Yeah.
Okay. So what intrigued me about you was the art.
Okay.
So are you, I've never met you before outside of 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So for me, it's all energy, man. And you got a good spirit, I can tell.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you.
No doubt, man. How does one start to create? And then you do music too. There's a lot of stuff. There's a plethora of stuff that you do. You're a real artsy dude, right? Not artsy in the sense of.
I'm art.
Yeah.
I am expression.
You are.
Yeah. How does one begin to create? I think we are creation. I think we're God's greatest form of creation. So just being a human being, we have the energy to be able to create like God did, you know.
Right on.
God said, I am, therefore I am. And, you know, when he created the universe, he created it with words and intention. And I think that we all have the power to harness that God-like energy. So I tell people all the time, what I do isn't special. I'm just tapping into my God-given resources.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you see? Because you have tattoos all over.
Yeah.
That's dope. I got one. I got 5. I got one on my hand for my baby boy. So when you tap into this, when did you know you were different, man? Because you know, like society doesn't have paintings in the kitchen. We do understand that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's funky fresh, no doubt.
This is actually me being, I don't even want to say modest, but I had like 6 months to a year to kind of refocus everything I was doing. So I kind of downsized everything. I was staying in like crib in the Hollywood Hills, glass house, crazy. But I was spending so much money on that instead of creating and just some of the necessities. So I said, I wanted to like find a spot that was kind of just cool, moderate. I'm a big like feng shui person. I'm a big energy person. And whether I'm staying in a bathroom, I'm staying in the 2-bedroom, or I'm staying in the 20-bedroom, it just has to feel like creation.
I was last night I went to Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
He told me to go up there, Jim Carrey. He didn't tell me, he told me subconsciously. He said before he was always Jim Carrey, but before he was the masked Jim Carrey, he said he used to go up there every couple of days or whatever and just manifest, you know what I mean? Let his thought process just start.
I have a song, and then on one of the lyrics it said, lived in my car with my bitch with 2 dogs that always shitted. Beyonce and Chipotle, swear to God I won't forget them. Used to park right off a Runyon, had a closet in the trunk, took a bathroom in the CVS for months. I used to do that. I used to, me and my girl was like living in the car, so we would go up to like Mulholland or Runyon Canyon or Beverly Hills. We would just like sleep in front of these mega mansions and just like manifest that shit.
No doubt. Okay, so now I'm confused. So how can one go from homeless to a glass house?
I've lived in every type of house there is. I've lived in a glass house. I've lived in a penthouse.
I'm thinking that the ticket attached to that shit, though. I mean, that's on the higher end of living, no? Or is it
Yeah. It was like $12,000 a month.
Okay.
I've lived in a jailhouse. I've lived in a bathroom, like a literal bathroom behind my studio. I've lived in cars. I've lived in every type of experience, but it's just a mindset. A lot of people let their conditions of living affect their self-worth or the way that they view just life. I've seen people like, take a little hit and not live to where they expect, and then let that devalue them, and then they just feel like shit. When I was sleeping in the car with my 2 dogs and a girlfriend, I still carried myself like a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. So
I've never really let those things affect me, and I think by me not letting those things affect me allowed me to get up in the house.
Yeah, that's what's happening, man. Were you, not to be intrusive, but how are you making that kind of money though when you come out and live out of a fucking car? Like, you sell that many CDs? Or you a Basquiat or some shit? I mean, what is it? Banksy? You selling dope? Dope is cool.
I've designed for a lot of people. I've done a lot of things. I was working for a billionaire at a certain point in time in my life. I've worked with Steve Aoki. I designed all of his like merch and his label shit. I designed for a brand called Teenage Millionaire. I did something called Jesus Is My Homeboy that sold like 1.8 million units or some shit like that. I've just always been a hustler. I've always grinded creatively. I dropped out of school when I was 16. Broke as fuck. Had no money, no infrastructure. But then I sold candy in front of a Food for Less. And that got me enough money to get a bus ticket to go to Vegas for the Magic Show, which is like a big fashion convention.
Okay.
And I just went door to door to door to all these brands, just selling myself. And I did the same thing out here in Melrose, door to door to door to door, with like a little makeshift portfolio, selling myself.
Were you still doing the music then too?
No. I always loved music, but when I was younger, I didn't want to be the kid running around saying I'm a rapper. I wanted to do something that people would probably respect more, that would validate my creativity. So I kind of went with the fashion, creative direction shit,
Right.
and that kind of opened up a door for the music.
You, if memory serves me correct, now I don't know if I'm right, if I'm wrong. I just hope I'm correct.
Yeah.
Didn't you do some shit like a campaign, like fuck Gucci or some shit like that?
Yeah.
How'd that come about? I remember the whole thing with Gucci and everything. That was the negative connotation of it.
Well, in short, I was on Melrose, and there was this huge, like 40-foot wall, white wall. And when I paint, I don't ever like have a sketch or like a preconceived idea what I'm gonna paint. I kind of just get there and just feel what I feel and then paint how I feel. I don't use pencils. I don't do sketches. I kind of just, everything's a freestyle. So I got there in front of this wall, and I remember thinking like, what should I paint? And I seen these group of guys, like young black kids, walking down the street, and they were like Gucci head to toe, just Gucci belt, Gucci bag, Gucci fucking everything.
Okay.
So something said, and this was around the time Gucci did the black face mask.
Yeah.
So something just came to mind. Gucci doesn't care about black people. So I drew like a coon looking in the mirror and all Gucci. It was a black kid in a Gucci tracksuit looking in the mirror, and it was a coon looking back at him. And then someone called the police, and they sent like 2 helicopters out
Straight up
to chase me. Yeah, I was like literally running from helicopters. Made the news. They shut down like 6 city blocks, sent out like 30 police for painting.
Yeah.
You would think I would have robbed a bank. It's crazy. So I run from the helicopters. I end up seeing an Escalade and jumping and running underneath the Escalade. So I'm like laying under the Escalade. I called an Uber. Managed to get away. The news came by. The next day they found me.
They recognized where they had pictures of them.
Yeah.
Were you known? So are you like known in this? I feel bad for asking this because I really honestly don't know anything outside of what I see on social media front. So are you like?
I'm pretty legendary.
Right on.
Yeah. But anyway, so
You're hiding under the Escalade.
Hiding under the Escalade. I get away. They come interview me.
Okay.
Gucci sends me a cease and desist letter saying that they're
You
threatening to
fucking
take threatening to take action. So then I take their cease and desist letter and I make a T-shirt with it. I print their that note on the back of a shirt, and then they apply more pressure. And then the natural anarchist inside of me was like, I should just throw a party and have a bunch of kids burn Gucci.
Yeah.
So
That was sweet though.
I did that, and like Dame Dash reached out and a couple other cool people, and I found this like empty building, and I paid a bunch of homeless people in the community to clean it up. Brought some huge speakers, and people just brought Gucci, and we just burnt a bunch of Gucci.
Just like that.
And then the next day, Gucci put out a public apology letter and saying that they started some new urban program to help,
That's crazy.
urban communities, and then they dropped the lawsuit.
Damn, that's sweet shit, man. God damn, I knew it was some. I always that was on the back of my mind. I couldn't forget to ask that. It was in front of my mind.
Yeah.
So what brought about the music? Like who? I guess your inspiration is the Michaels.
What?
Your inspiration are the Mikes.
To greatness, I mean, they just represent like a level of greatness that I wish to achieve. But musically, I wouldn't say like he's a inspiration. I think, and
Because you seem really cultured, right? Like you mentioned Steve Aoki, and that's
oh man, I'm like, I could quote Fellini films. I listen to classical music 90% of the time. Like I'm like, I'm into all types of things, man.
When you, I think the issue, not the issue, but the thing that people have a hard time trying to, when you say penthouse, right, or living in this higher, there's there's a big gap on how one can take the steps, right? Like people that I know, that's what I think when I'm doing is pretty different. Cause I come from a blue collar type family. You know what I'm saying? So for you to even say somebody sold $1 million and whatever units based on whatever, that's a pretty big payday for you to some degree. So how does one even get to that point, man? Is it just like the old fashioned moniker of hard work pays off, or knowing the right people? Is it fucking luck?
I'll give you a small parable, and it's one about a sheep and a lion.
Okay.
So there was a lion, right, who was a part of a tribe, of a pack of lions. And some poachers came and they murdered his whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of lions dead. It's a massacre. Only one lion survives. So he's going through the forest. And he gets to a pasture, and it's a bunch of sheep.
Okay.
So he's a baby lion. He doesn't even know to eat these sheep yet. So he finds them and he befriends these sheep, and then the sheep indoctrinate him into being one of their own.
Right. So now the lion's a sheep.
So now the lion's a sheep. So he grows up and he's like bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So then one day, a bunch of fucking lions come pull up to the herd of sheep,
right,
and they see this fucking lion bad and, you know, being a sheep. They're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
And they're like, bad. So they kill all the sheep. And then the lion's hurt. He's like, what the fuck? You just killed my family, you know? Mm-hmm. And then they put his face into like the dead sheep's like body, right? And out of nowhere, he just, right? Fucking eats them. And they're like, you're a fucking lion, you know?
Right on.
At the end of the day, we're all a victim of a false self-perception. Mm-hmm. A lot of us are only broke because we think we're broke. A lot of us are ugly because we feel we're ugly. A lot of us are in the positions we're in because we have this perception of a reality that doesn't really exist for us. A lot of these things that we want aren't hard to attain. You know, like the penthouses, the Bentleys, whatever type of like material wealth. Mm. It's just first you have to come to grips with the idea that you can have it. Like you have to see yourself having it.
Do you read a lot?
Yeah, I do. I listen to more audiobooks because I consume them more, but I go through a lot of literature.
Likewise. There's a lot of people who speak like that, man, often. I try to keep my my audiobook game up too. What are you reading right now?
The 4 Agreements, and I'm listening.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's a barrel. I read that about a month ago.
Yeah, the 4 Agreements, and the positive mental attitude. I'm reading like 4 of them. I'm reading Alter Ego Effects. I'm reading like 5 of them.
So if somebody walks in here and sees your paintings and shit, does it affect you? Your ego, and they say, this is bullshit. I don't like none of this shit.
No.
It's weird as fuck.
I don't know. If someone tells me, like, if someone says, yo, this is amazing as fuck, I'm not affected by either way.
Right.
I had to, like, shut off that part of myself, because if you are gassed by someone who says they like it, then that means that you have to be equally as destroyed when they say they don't. So opinions at this point don't really matter to me anymore.
Absolutely, man. Well, I like it because I like the idea of it. And it seems so different compared to what's out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? I really I appreciate it. I can appreciate this.
Thank you. It's my expression.
Tell me about Skid Row, bro. Because you do a lot of work with people on Skid Row?
Yeah. Skid Row is like a 7-city block hellhole where a lot of mothers, children, brothers, fathers, veterans, people who just have kind of been forgotten by society live. And it's over like 60, 70,000 homeless people. And since I was a kid, I've kind of just always been connected towards the homeless.
Mm.
Like I was the kid who like my mom would be like, stay away from that homeless guy, and I like walk up to him and talk to him. And over where my mom used to live, there was a community of homeless people that used to live under the freeway and on the bus stop in front of Burger King, and I became really, really good friends with them. Like I'd wake up every morning before I go to the gym, I'd get them food, we would talk, we would chill. And throughout the years, they kind of just disappeared one by one. And it was sad for me because I didn't look at them as like homeless people, but more or less like extended family.
Yeah.
So I feel like one of my purposes on this planet is to give a voice to people who don't really have one. And the homelessness issue is an epidemic that's growing. So I just want to use whatever clout or fame or whatever the fuck I got to be able to shine a flashlight, a spotlight on what's going on, and to be able to utilize the people around me to try to help it.
Yeah, that's music to my ears, man. We try to do the best we can with the little time we have, right? So what you seem like what do you struggle with, man?
Myself.
As far as what? I mean, do you get like really depressed and shit?
No. No.
Okay.
The biggest struggle in life is you versus you.
Right on. I agree.
Right. So my biggest challenge is greatness. And I know that I am greater than what I am currently. No matter what magazines or people or fans or whatever people say, I know that there's a level of greatness that I'm striving for. And every day I just try to be a little bit better, but sometimes those incremental growths kind of like, I'm really, really hard on myself. Like I really want to be the best I could be. So yeah, but besides that, man, I've gotten a lot of drama out of my life. I've deleted all the fat. I don't hang out with negative people. I don't even talk to negative people anymore. I don't have like a disruptive existence. Everything I'm doing now is really just based on creation. I just finished a film, my first movie that I produced, directed.
Wow. That's impressive, bro.
Edited, casted, creative directed. It's my baby. Full-length film.
Are you gonna get it to
Yeah, all the festivals.
There it is.
And I'm premiering it at a bunch of big places this year to go with this album. The clothing line, the Skid Row Fashion Week stuff, art. Be doing a lot of big galleries.
Sweet, good for you. On the album, like, do you have any kind of other artists that you look up to as far as like you like to get them on your CD, on your album and stuff like that? I mean, do you have any favorites or just people you won't touch based on whatever? Because you don't seem like money's like a big issue to me, and I think in society, the music and stuff that we listen to, so I've always got the fattest ass, and most cars, the biggest house and stuff like that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I hate to say this because I'm sure one day a recording like this may come back to bite me, but
don't say it. It's gonna jeopardize you, though.
No, nothing. I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
No one inspires me anymore. Everything is redundant. It's all just the same shit regurgitated and packaged in different platforms. And the artists who once were my heroes, I don't know. It just is what it is. I more or less do music because I feel like I have a perspective that is necessary in culture today. I don't do it for the clout. I don't do it for the bitches. I don't do it for the money. I do it more or less. I feel like I have a message. Have you ever heard my song, The Light? Have you ever heard the song?
No, sir. I have not.
Well, the second verse, it says, I walk in a room and I light it up. God's inside of all of us. This is the secret they hide from us. Because if we knew what was inside of us, then they know that their time is up. That's why the media lies to us and they make you feel like you're not enough.
Did you do that? Did you do that at the park?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Million, but you know, if you knew it was inside of us, then they know that their time is up. That's why the media lies to us, and they make you feel like you're not enough. They want you high and they want you drunk. As long as you keep buying stuff, go to work and then go to sleep, live day by day and then week by week. If you knew that you were God, you would say, man, fuck this job. That bar, so many people I know have quit their jobs, walked out of school, like walked out of bad relationships. People who I know are just in really bad positions in life was like, yo, that line, like if you knew that you were God, you would say, fuck this job. And all of my music is about empowerment.
Right on.
This album I got coming out, it's called Times I Made Girls Cry. And it's about a lot of my fucked up relationships and just who I once was and my growth as a man and my growth in understanding between, you know, just understanding who I am. And I think it's really, really necessary for young Black or just young men of color, because a lot of times we grow up in environments that don't really nurture our mental health.
Correct.
And a lot of times, a lot of us grew up without fathers, so we were left to be raised by mothers who can't really offer a masculine perspective, and we don't really have a real example of what love looks like. So this album is just very, like, it just touches a lot of core.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
You did your own production too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I produce, I play keys, I play...
You sing too, no?
Yeah.
How'd you... All this stuff is self-taught pretty much, or you learn how... like, did you play the organ in church or some shit?
I just tapped in.
Just like that?
Yeah.
I like it, man. This is awesome, dude. So what do you, how far do you see your art going? Do you see your art going... I mean, have you sold pieces extensively?
Yeah.
Already? I'm late. I didn't know that. That's cool, man. When does the CD drop? When does the album come out?
I don't know. I have to reshoot the video to the light. Got a bigger budget, doing it real big, and I'm gonna re-release that. And I'm gonna re-release a documentary, prepping for the album, and then I'm gonna do a huge release. So sometime in like March, I'd say. Just got a lot on my plate right now.
Are you signed to a major label or are you independent?
I'm independent. I did have a deal at Interscope a year or 2 years back. A major situation, but it wasn't really what I thought it would be. And I told myself I would never do it again unless it was on my terms. Because, man, you know, I'm not even going to take an opportunity to talk about labels, but I'll just say that unless you're 100% priority to them, they don't really have an idea on how to break new artists. Labels don't have the capacity to take a new artist and really get them to 100. They just know how to work with people who have momentum already and kind of fuel it with money. But where I was at in my career at that time, I needed real support, and they couldn't offer that.
That's awesome. I'm happy I'm able to sit down with you. I'm happy you brought to my idea, man. I'm happy getting something you never get back together, which is your time, bro. I appreciate that, man.
I mean, if we're being like completely honest, like
I'd rather.
This is kind of why I do what I do, to be able to talk to people like you. Like, let's say a year and a half from now, I'm the biggest artist in the world. Like, let's say like Drake level, #1 Billboard, biggest artist in the world.
Okay.
I will still take days out of my schedule to have conversations like this. And they don't gotta be with Billboard, they don't gotta be with Vogue. It could be some mom and pop shit in the middle of fucking wherever. Because all we really got is our voice and our perspective, and I'm in it to touch people. So who knows who might be seeing this?
Yeah.
But
that's part of the reason why I do what I do, man. Because I believe in just bridging bridging people. Like you said, all we have is our voice and our opinion. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to.
And if I could say something, it would be that as infinite beings, as creators, to never limit yourself, right? Never, you know, a lot of us, you know, who don't really have the opportunity to grow up in rich families, to grow up in rich environments, to grow up to have even both of our parents as the core of who we are. Growing up, we grow up in a lot of trauma. You know, growing up in the hood, you're kind of already pre-programmed to have a certain disposition in life.
It's very true.
But you are not your circumstance. You're not. We're all avatars.
I agree.
We're all avatars. We're just playing different roles because we feel like that's the role we need to play. But at any time, once you realize that this is just a game, then you have the opportunity to be whatever you want. You could really sit back and start to create yourself. And that's kind of something I did. You know, growing up, I was a fucking nerd.
Were you?
I was a super nerd. I had no friends. I used to hang out with a tree. I had no girls. Seriously, it was really bad. But then,
what was the tree's name?
I really used to hang out with a tree. But I sat back one day and I really said, "Who am I?
Yeah.
Who do I want to be? Oh, David Sabastian. Oh, ladies are gonna love him. He's gonna be this painter, mysterious motherfucker who does this, and I'm gonna do this, and oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna shut down this, and then I just kind of became that, you know. So I guess the punchline of it is that you really truly can become anything you want to become if you hold on, if you believe it. You know, our imagination is the one faculty God gave us that's exactly like His. God created this planet based off His imagination. And if you use your imagination to focus on the life you want to live, or the things you want to have, or the things you want to be, and then don't let outside opinions from your friends or your family or from life devaluate who you are or what that vision is, then it's 100% fact that will materialize in your life. If you see what you want and then use your imagination to live into that for long enough, like it doesn't just come overnight. You can't be like, I'm a millionaire, and then you become a millionaire tomorrow. But it's like a process. But throughout that process, everyone's going to tell you, you can't be no fucking millionaire. You from this. You ain't shit. You ain't never going to be shit. Oh, how you... But if you throughout all that for a consistent amount of time stay on that path, it's inevitable that you'll become what you want to be.
Absolutely, man. This is awesome, dude. I want to take a tour. Like, this is like a gallery to me, right? Walking that side, check it. This is... I just appreciate people like you who are just... That's what the Bikedope brand to me is all about, man. People just being comfortable in their own skin and really embrace who the fuck they are. You know what I mean? And I become a vessel. After a while, I just sit back and I just hit record.
Yeah.
And I become a fan. You know what I mean? Fly on the wall. And let people talk their shit, man. And, you know, I want to ask you so bad how much the Michael Jackson glove cost you. I want to ask you that. I want you to tell me. How about that? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Let's just say a lot.
Who the fuck has a Michael Jackson glove? Did he really have one on it, or does it say? What's it say? Does it say Michael Jackson won or something? Or was this?
He did. This was at a He did like a show at Circus du Soleil.
Okay.
And it was like some performance, and he was auctioning off a couple of them.
Right on. Right on, man. He's a bad motherfucker, David Sabastian. I fuck with you the long way, dude.
I'm trying to get Prince's purple shoes. No, for real, he has like these purple shoes with his logo on the heel and shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get those.
Yeah. Why the shoes? Why not a feather out of one of his hats? Or why not?
I just want these shoes because they bad. I might wear them if I don't frame them.
Prince was a bad motherfucker, man. Prince was like his cold. So you're like
you might be one of my last male interviewers.
Why is
Ever.
that?
Because Prince had this thing, and I think I'm gonna adopt it. He would only get interviewed by women.
See, I don't like to say I don't like the fact interview. I like to say conversation. Like I was telling Soup over there, man. I'm like, I'm not trying to put this ain't no job. I'm not trying to hire you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I prefer.
I like conversations.
Yeah, conversations flow back rather than me being all uptight, just weird and shit. You know what I mean? So I look forward to what you put out next. Personally,
It's gonna shake the world.
and that's what
It's going
I
to
think we should
shake.
all talk and think like that, though. No?
I'm saying it because I've already seen it. I've already done this. I've already been here. I've already seen how the movie goes.
I respect it, man. Well, I hope people can look up to you and they can see the people who haven't heard of it. I hope I can bridge the gap between that many more people so they can shake their world too, man. You can inspire that many more people with your feng shui and everything else you got in your sleeve, dude. I respect it. I respect you. I normally do a plug. See how people follow you. Is that something you want to say? Do you give a fuck about that or?
If you want to find me, you'll find me.
Okay. If you want to find David Sabastian, you just
Think about it.
throw the pot up in the air. Throw the pot up in the air, and if it start leading one way or next, man, it goes down. So you can hear this podcast and many more like it on all the social, on all the fronts, man. I'm Jon Agnew, the creative brand Bikedope. I appreciate you. I know you all, David Sabastian, my man.
Thank you.
Be blessed, doggy.
Thank you.
Easy. I told you, David Sabastian. I appreciate you, my man. Super Kev, buying into the crazy idea of Bikedope, man. I appreciate the opportunity you guys let me into your house. Like I was in this dude's crib. I never met him before. Like I met him, like walking into his living room type shit. That's the kind of shit that I do, though. I'm that guy. That's for real. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, I appreciate the opportunity. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that. Let me know what you think. Comment below. If not, keep listening. If not, I'm cool either way. Bikedope shit is real, man. David Sabastian, check him out. He said he's gonna shake the world, but we all should think like he should, or at least have the capacity to do so, right? So it's all good, man. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. I promise I do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Easy. Bikedope.